20 minutes.
Welcome to Toffee TV. It's the final word. Everton 1, Southampton 2. The first time Southampton won at Goodison since 1997. And Everton blew the opportunity to do the double over them for the first time in about 40 years. It's a 4th straight home defeat for Everton, 5 defeats out the last 6 home games, 1 win in 13. Yada, yada, yada. There's lots of other stuff I can throw out to underline how awful Everton are at the moment, in terms of results especially. Joined by Mike and John in the studio.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, John.
Another grim result for Everton Football Club.
Yeah.
Grim result, grim performance.
You first, Mike, go on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew he'd blink first, yeah.
Carrying on the same trend, isn't it? Nothing's changed for the, since the season began, really. Look, it was an abject performance at best. First half, I thought we were lucky. I put it out on Twitter at the time. I thought we were lucky to go in half-time in the lead, albeit, didn't deserve to be behind. But lucky to go in the lead. You're thinking, getting in at half-time, let's have some sort of reaction to that, real, hunker down, let's fight for these 3 points. Obviously come out and straight away it's back to 1-1. But there's, at the moment, there seems to be that much wrong. You don't even know where to begin, do you? At the start of the season, we looked defensively solid. I think you felt like it was a foundation to build from. The defence looks all over the shop as well. We're conceding goals left, right and centre. I think we've now got the 3rd worst or the 4th worst goal difference in the league. We're not scoring goals. There's problems at both ends again now. While he's trying to find some sort of balance to getting goals, and yeah, it's a tough moment.
John, it's a recipe for relegation, isn't it? We can't score goals and we can't keep clean sheets, and therefore we're not winning football matches.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got a manager who's in a place where others have been, doesn't know what to do.
Yeah,
just doesn't know what to do.
He's not getting the support,
and he's not getting the support. Other people then can share the blame. New arrivals arriving on the last day won't save this manager, will it?
No chance.
So it's deja vu from last season. You keep kicking the can down the road, and almost inevitable outcome happens eventually. And the new guy, even when he turns up, has to make do with what others chose. Yeah. And therefore perhaps in some way doesn't really feel wholly, accountable. So it's dire.
It's what's really mad is the similarities to last season.
It's very similar.
It's Groundhog Day.
It's incredible. We had the glory draw, if you like, last season at Chelsea, just before Christmas, and we had it this year with Man City.
Yeah.
We lose the first game of the new year to Brighton at home, which we did. The manager's under pressure. We then go and, as it happened, Benitez beat Hull and got a stay of execution. Frank got beat 3-1 at United in a glory defeat and got a stay of execution. And we played the bottom of the league on the 15th of January and got beat 2-1. The difference is last year Benitez was sacked after that. And this year Everton haven't done anything with Frank Lampard right now. We've got a game at West Ham this weekend and then there's a 2-week break. Lots of noise in the press saying if he hasn't gone before Saturday, he'll be gone on Saturday, should Everton lose a game. Which would then give...
Was that last week's articles just reprinted?
Quite possibly. Because I think, to be honest, John, I think a lot of people thought one victory in 13 would get you the sack. 4 home defeats on the run for the first time since 1958, you told me before, would normally get you the sack as Everton manager.
Should get you the sack.
And it hasn't. And I'm not saying rightly or wrongly, I'm just saying they are the facts that are out there. There's mitigating circumstances for the manager. Everton, as you alluded to before, haven't given him any new tools. We all knew he needed reinforcements in attacking areas from September the 1st. We knew it. Yep. And they had 4 months to plan for that. And we're 16 days into January and we're looking at Mikel Antonio and Duvan Zapata.
7 months.
So, yeah. Well, we knew
and then the month of January as well.
We all knew what we needed. And now the manager, and you both just said it, hasn't had the required help as well. Should he be doing better? Absolutely he should.
Well, we've had this chat loads of times.
But halfway through
he's not getting the most
out. We've won 3 games.
He's not getting the most out of the squad for sure.
No. I mean, on Saturday, there was obviously the protest planned. We discussed it on another show, which will be available for you to watch.
I think it's out now, I think.
Want. Is it out now available?
Yeah, I think they moved it quick.
Which is our Everton Broken. We talked about it in great detail on there, but Everton shot themselves in the foot again for me on Saturday with their statements before the game. That did change the mood a little bit going into the game.
You made this point, didn't you, Mike?
Yeah. Changed the mood. But the fans did turn up and did welcome the bus. They did try to support in the ground. The manager picked what looked like a 5-3-2.
Didn't play that way, though.
No, didn't. No. It was a 3-4-3, it looked like to me. There was certainly nobody within 10 yards of Calvert-Lewin at any time. Alex Iwobi passed the fitness test, although I don't think he was fit.
No chance.
Certainly wasn't as busy as he normally is. But I thought Everton with a better side.
I thought we just deserved the lead.
Yeah, I did, to be honest.
Mate.
I think different. I thought we did deserve to be ahead.
But it was...
Because I thought they were...
Yeah.
I thought Southampton were really poor, to be honest.
Two poor teams.
I think, but both two poor teams without a shadow of a doubt. But Everton got ahead, scored off a set piece, which is very unlike Everton, although we scored off one against Wolves as well and lost that day as well. But Everton did take the lead.
I said to the missus, literally just before the corner was taken, all we need is one of our players to run off someone. Because clearly size and stuff, we had those advantages. And the only one who moved scored.
It did. Yeah. And it was a good header, it was behind them.
Wasn't huge power on it, but it doesn't have to be, does it?
Directed it.
The keeper's unbalanced. Well, you're a keeper, so you know. So.
Yeah.
And for 5 minutes after the goal, I thought we looked like we were going to Iwobi has the one where
potential to get another, yeah.
We just had one before the goal, which was one of our best moves of the day, actually. Amadou Onana, who was absolutely fantastic on Saturday, the only Everton player really performed. Switched the play to Michalenko, good touch, good ball into Damari Gray, and he took it on the run. He dinked it over the keeper, but he couldn't direct it, and it goes over. But it was a good little pattern of play. And we had a couple of them in the first half, little moves where we sped it up a little bit, but I find with Everton, we do that, and you think, right, that's the way to cut through them, and we just slow the game down again.
See, what I would say as well, though, going on the first half, I wouldn't skate over how many times Southampton got in as well. They got into a couple of real good positions.
They did, but they done nothing with it.
No, but they got into, and it was after the time. You can't continue to give up that space. No. And those moments, if they were ours, we would be saying, "Oh, we were getting it." So those moments sort of go by in games where you sort of forget about them. But I was watching it thinking, defensively, we are all over the shop.
Well, he had the one.
That was Cody and Tarkowski's worst game.
The one that hit the defender, looped over Pickford, and Adams just couldn't head it in on the line, didn't he?
Just trying,
They'd lost the connection, didn't they?
They just didn't seem...
Neither knew where the other one was.
No. Sort of thing. Neither of them were aggressive in the performance. I thought...
No, Tarkowski had this, for me, his worst game.
Yeah, and Cody's for me. I thought Cody was awful
and
as well.
Connor was all over, Connor Cody was all over the place.
And I thought that's where I was sort of going in, thinking we're lucky to be ahead because they got into some positions and an half-decent side would have took a couple of those opportunities. But the only good player on the pitch was Onana. For both sides, he was the only player that looked like a Premier League player.
He did.
And I was hoping that we could build from that going into that second half. He was imposing. He was reading the game fantastically well.
And he picked the ball up and decided to go for him. I mean, he brought him down. The referee was poor, let's have it right. Let them get away with lots of... The kid, Lavia, in the middle, pulled the players back about 5 times in the game. Should have probably been booked earlier on. But the ref was poor.
Yeah. Was it me?
To be honest, he was poor for both sides, though, because we'd done a couple that I thought were fouls for them, and he didn't give, and then couple on the edge of their box we didn't get, but they got the free kicks on the edge of ours. It was he was a bit up and down, but I'm not blaming the referee. Everton were crap. But Onana, I thought he was excellent. It was best game, I think, for Everton.
And built on from the game at United, I thought he was good there, and then this was another step.
Like the telescopic tackle, don't he run back?
Long left leg.
And looking at it, we need a talisman at the moment.
We do need.
And hopefully he can rise to it. The last couple of games he looks. This is grasping onto real thin straws here.
Of course, yeah.
But you're looking for some glimmer of hope that would be it.
We knew but we bought him what he is. He's got the ability and the talent, and the ceiling is there. And it's the same with any player that's coming in from a different country. You've got to allow them to. It's
going to be ups and downs, isn't it?
The first part of his Everton career, he'd do something really good and you go, there it is. And then the next minute he'd just have his head up as if I've got all day and someone would take the ball off him.
Score.
We saw that at like Newcastle where he loses the ball because he's asleep, and a couple of other games. But on Saturday, he knew he was holding people off. He was knocking it, getting it back. He was winning tackles, and obviously he scored the goal as well.
Yeah, I think it's sort of maybe as well a little bit here. I might be going back a bit too far, but I think we skated over a little bit because obviously we've done it on the other show. But setting the tone for the game, the board statement, in terms of, and I pointed on that video, but obviously some people might only watch this one. You've got fans turning up that don't want to be part of a protest or anything. That's absolutely fine. It's within everyone's right, 100%. And they want to turn up and just go, it's all about the 3 points and it's all about Everton getting those 3 points. Now, they need to start really having a hard look at their own board, because their own board deflected away from the importance of that game. That game was massive for Everton right now, where they are in the season, for a multitude of things, for the manager's status, the confidence, everything, the fans. So the board doing what they did in that deflective tactic at that moment in time is bordering on disgraceful as far as I'm concerned.
Bordering.
Okay, I was trying to be a little bit more tempered, but absolutely disgusting.
Listen, there isn't a public relations expert on this planet who, if the objective was to get everyone behind the team, would publish that statement at that time. No. If the objective was to try and deflect, which is the word you use, and protect the board and things like that, the timing was perfect for that one.
I just think...
Oh, we're not here because we've been threatened. You know?
But they've put their own self-preservation...
Guys, you're better than that.
So our board have put their own self-preservation ahead.
That's what it looks
Everton
like,
getting
absolutely.
3 points.
That's exactly what it looks like.
And then we've got fans criticising other fans, saying that they're potentially putting other issues ahead of the 3 points, when I don't think they are. They have maybe previously, and I think there's been elements of that. Yeah. But as a whole, those protests have been done, I think, myself personally, this time round, in a very, very strategic way, in an inclusive way, whereby the team comes first. Like you pointed out on the last video, for those players to still receive bus welcomes, couple of hours before games, freezing cold, when the football they're saving up is absolutely atrocious. Levels of effort and commitment can be questioned, and the fans is the one thing that this football club's got. And for that board to put that out before our biggest game of the season, set the tone for that, and they cannot be let off for that, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, again, because we're saying it, if you haven't watched the other vid, what's it called? Everton Broken.
Watch it. 4
of us have all expressed a view, but a key punchline in there is there's no way back for this board.
No, I can't.
As a collective,
you can't rock back up, can they?
Yeah, as a collective, there's no way back for you. No. There can't be, because you're going to have to come out and front up the timing of statements, what really happened. Yeah. You got Merseyside police saying, "Well, we had no reports prior to the game," blah blah blah.
No one believes you.
Yeah. Well, I tweeted that over the weekend, you know, and I got some pushback, as you say, because people always want to give the benefit of the doubt.
Of course,
but my simple statement was, and I'll stand by it, is if the fan base of this football club do not believe the club or the board, that is all on the club. There's lots of stuff around that, but ultimately it's down to you. So sit in your boardroom, discuss whether the fans trust you or not, or whether they're listening to you or not, and unless the answer is yes, it's your fault. And you need to deal with that.
Yeah.
You really do need to deal with that. Bring people in who can help you, because, you know what I'm going to say, change the people or change the people, guys, because this is totally untenable now.
It is.
The way I look at it.
It really is. It's supposed to be a bloody review of a game.
No, but
it was part of that. That's why I went back to it.
No, you're right too.
Part of the result.
Yeah.
Because I think that atmosphere in the stadium, albeit the fans still tried, it didn't have the same oomph, because everyone was underlyingly fuming.
You are right too, because footballers, even at elite level, are delicate little flowers, right? And I'm telling you, most elite sports people, when they fail, will jump on any excuse for it to be somebody else's fault, okay? And timing, they knew. Those players knew that this has happened, you know? And if you told them the day before, they'd have got over it, right? But you're in the preparation time, you're in the trying to get their heads turned on time. They've just had it's almost as if they just
like
had
self-sabotage,
yeah,
isn't it?
they've just had a welcome, and then they get told in the dressing room, oh, by the way, the board aren't here today because they're being threatened with death.
Yeah, those same fans that applauded you in, by the way, they're trying to lynch you, but I mean, it's absolutely disgraceful.
I think the actual, you're absolutely right. The thing about it,
it's really disappointing.
It's shocking, really, because like Mike just said, it did feel like a bit of self-sabotage when we all needed to be together.
Yeah. Do not throw the fans under the bus.
It did take away, it created an anger, which I don't think was there. I think people were ready for the game.
Yeah.
People were ready for the bus welcome and all that. People were ready. This is a huge game. We need to back the players. And we got in, and the crowd did. The street end were trying to get things going, and they did. You know, the songs were there now and again. But that level of intensity which we felt towards the end of the season in games, where it was electric, it wasn't electric at the beginning. And that's not, listen, I don't blame the fans for that.
No, because you blame the ball.
People's minds were taken off it.
100%.
But the crowd did back them, even in injury time, we were getting beat, they were still trying to get behind them. But
is it me? What happens at half time? Really?
Well, we went in at half time 1-0.
Because Mike said we were fortunate. I think
they were fortunate to still be in the game.
We deserve, Okay,
but
and we all stand. Where do you sit?
Well, at the minute, I'm going to season ticket.
Okay, but
we're
in the ground.
Me, by me at the weekend.
So you're in the upper Bullens. I'm in the Park End. Ped will be in the Gladys, right? And we'll all be at half time, probably having very similar conversations, which is, God, both these teams are shit, right? We're leading.
We need the second goal.
We're leading. We've given some chances up. We need a second goal, but we need to be tight. They need to win as well. So just be calm. 50 seconds later. But listening to the manager, that's not what he was saying, was it? This isn't a game of tactics. This is being together. But even that wasn't what they were. It's the inability to inspire. And we've talked about this on the sofa before, about what do managers do at the end of the day. They make players play to the best of their ability, and they communicate really simple messages.
I just look at it.
So the managers really.
I worry with Everton because I look at them and I do think they're underperforming
as a group. Absolutely.
I don't think they're great because I think no matter what, I've said this to Pep before, and he's like, they're terrible and all that. They're playing terribly. I literally wouldn't disagree, but they're playing terribly. Yeah. That team is better than what it's showing.
Aren't terrible.
Yeah,
however, what I would say, and this is basically the key thing, is in the final third, they're not good enough. And the manager can talk about we keep working. That's great. That's brilliant, Frank.
But by the way, you don't see anything of that.
You add quality. So you working as a player all the time, extra, your natural ability comes out. These lads don't have natural goal-scoring ability. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is the most likely. I get that, and he's only just coming back. Ellis Sims knows where the net is, but he's a kid. He's not versed in Premier League football. The wide players are where the creativity comes from. Yeah. And also, your midfield players have got to be doing more.
Yeah.
We're set up wrong. 3-4-3 to me was the wrong way to play the weekend. There should have been 3-5-2. Because we've looked, or 5-3-2, and I've had some discussion with people on social media that don't like that, and I get that. It's not how I would play, really.
It's needs must.
I'm just looking and going, well, we've tried.
What's the best formation to get a result?
Your best players on the pitch.
It's like fourth. We should, with 5-3-2, we should be tight enough not to let simple goals in.
And both goals were.
And we'll have a look in a second, but there's still gaps. Dominic Calvert-Lewin on Saturday, I've seen people giving him stick.
Isolated.
And I always look at the strikers because obviously that's where I played. So I thought he was all right Saturday. He was isolated. He's winning headers, knocking things down. The amount of times in the first half he was making runs around the back. Did we pass it? No, because Damari Gray wanted 80-12 freaking step overs before he wanted to pass the ball. So we're not giving him a chance to get in behind. We're not really throwing crosses in for him.
He was timing his jumps well.
He's jumping. He's trying to win things. They're big lads as well, so you're not going to win everything. And yet we don't create anything for them. We're hoping Damari Gray will bang one in like he did at City. We're still, for me, relying on individual moments that might come off or might not come off.
And Lampard said that.
And that, but that doesn't compute to me.
It's not good enough.
Because if it was me, it would be, forget about the defending side, because we can't do that, right? We can't do that. But even if you want to defend, get Ashley Cole and get your 5 and go down there at frigging Belfield. I fucking wish we could go back to Belfield. Go down there at Finch Farm, down that end, and I'm having the strikers at this end and the wingers, and we're going to work on patterns of play, what to do. We've got a centre forward who's as good as anything in the air. I don't know how many crosses we put in for him to aerially attack at the weekend.
No.
Not
I don't know why we don't cross the ball.
They were all corners.
But I don't
that
understand.
don't be the first man, most of them.
I don't understand why we don't cross the ball in front of players.
Yeah.
We check back. Seamus Coleman did it. We had a good move
wrong,
back onto his left foot and dinks it in.
Yeah.
What
floaty one.
Floaters for keepers. You'd love that as a keeper, wouldn't you?
Oh, you just come and
clean
claim them. Yeah. Just come and claim them all the time.
So,
and if anyone comes near you, you get a foul.
Yeah. So we don't score
exactly.
goals.
Exactly.
We're not creating loads of chances. There needs to be a change in all of this, right? And I know what you're going to say about the manager, and plenty of people are saying it about the manager. I honestly...
Do you know what I would do first?
I like Frank, and I think he's trying everything I do.
Of course, yeah.
But
it's just not good enough.
Could he really...
in
if
this
Everton phoned him today and went, Frank, sorry, but could he really... The only thing he could say is, you haven't given me all of the tools to do the job, right? They might turn around and go, that's a fair point, but financial, whatever.
No, I'd say...
I don't get the financial
What I'd
bit.
say if he said that would be, but the tools we've given you, you haven't made best use of.
And that's
Those two things are probably related.
But for me, right, and I'll just say this and go back to you two. There's what I would have done if I was the manager, right? It would have been a very clear conversation. The minute we walked off after Bournemouth and we were destroyed. And by the way, Bournemouth have played 12 games and lost 10 and won twice, and it was against Everton, and they beat us 7-1 in 3 days over 2 games. That should have been alarm bells for everybody, right?
It was.
So when that, for us it was, I mean, seemingly the club it wasn't.
Yeah.
Right?
But you have a plan then.
Exactly. But the plan would have been to me, if I sit down then, I'd have said, right, I need a meeting on Monday. We're going to Australia on Tuesday, whatever. I need a meeting on Monday. You sit down, and I don't want it to be just me and Kevin Delwell. I want the board, someone, whether it's Bill Kenwright, Denise Barrett, whoever, Farhad Mashiri, right? Sit down and go, right, we are shite, and this proves it. We haven't, in the summer, and I'll come on to the summer as well in a minute, by the way, before I pass it back over, but we've ended the summer transfer window. Everton chased 4 strikers on deadline day and a winger, and didn't get any of them. They offered 27 million for Mudryk. No wonder Shakhtar bombed that out the door, right? They offered all of that, trying to get players, and Kudus they wanted, didn't get it, right? Okay, sometimes that happens. We're planning, right, day one, we need a striker and a winger. Because without that, we're in trouble. The lads we've got can't do it. Our centre forward's not fit. We're trying to get them back. We need to be ready to go. We're already going to miss 2 games when we come back. We can't, because no matter who we bring in, isn't available for those 2. Yeah. Unless it's Diego Costa, because he was free transfer, and you're never getting him, are you? Although he was probably at Wolves, but actually no, he was already there, wasn't he? Brentford. Wolves, and got sent off for Brentford. But we need that ready to go. We played Wolves, who were bottom, they beat us. We went to City and got the glory draw, and then we're at Brighton at home with no one. Okay, the club might have said, we're not going to get them in time, but we'll have them for you for United in the FA Cup. We go to United, we get bounced there as well. 10,000 people go, John was there, we get bounced. We've got a huge game at home to Southampton, still nothing. Right, now I know FFP, and no restrictions and all of that, I get it, it's difficult. But there's players out there, there's deals to be done. Yeah. Everton are going to lose crazy money if they get relegated. All the players are going to go, the decent ones you get money for. You're not going to get the same money for them. So Amadou Onana, if Everton stayed up and Real Madrid, used that for argument's sake, come in and said, right, Everton are a Premier League team, Amadou Onana, you're talking 50, 60 million. Okay. If Everton go down, you might get 30. You're a championship team now, with a player on big wages who's not going to want to play in the Championship. You've got 2 options. You sell him for less than you bought him, so you've lost on someone who you should never lose money on. 21, big character, big ceiling. Or you do a Fulham and loan him out to someone for a year while you try to get back up, like they did with Anguissa.
Or you make him stay.
Players like that. Okay, but to me, that would never happen. Others go, your England goalie's value drops, he goes.
Keep it, yeah, absolutely.
Others drop, and you end up fire sailing and you're in trouble. Or what you do is, you spend some money and you go, right, we will definitely try to sell this player by the Premier League. But I would argue with the Premier League if they'd say, no, man, you can't do that. Why are you stopping us trying to stay in this league? We've promised you this money by this date in a financial year.
Well, by the way, again, it just goes back to the board, the fact that you're even having to suggest, having to sell people to get into that situation.
You said day one, right? Day one was the 23rd of May. Last year, wasn't it?
Yeah,
the season has finished.
Sorry, John. I was talking about the
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm just saying they've had to June, July, August, September, October, November,
December.
They
knew Richarlison was going.
Nearly 8 months. Nearly 8 months. Now, either we had a plan.
It was Neil Maupay and McNeil.
It wasn't. No. Yeah. We either had a plan and a certain amount of money, okay, and Maupay and McNeil were allegedly sanctioned by both the manager and the director of football. So that's on you guys.
Terrifying.
If that's on you guys, right?
It's another reason to sack him.
Decent sources, i.e. guys who don't make stories up, are saying that we're making bids now, this week, last week, whenever, £25 million upwards. So there is some money there. So maybe your argument about invest guys rather than drop 50 million quid in the first year and more in the second year in the championship, spend the money to keep in the goddamn thing.
Yeah.
So maybe they're doing that. But why can't you get them over the line? Why can you not get them over the line?
It'll be how they're structured, won't it?
It's got to be, to some degree, right? But players make decisions. You know what I mean? If a player wants to come to Everton and Everton can't agree an appropriate structure that satisfies the selling club, it's very difficult for the selling club to say, no, we're going to accept this offer from Nottingham Forest, right?
Yeah.
Because their structures, cash up front, whatever, when the player wants to go somewhere else. And so we're now in the worst of worst places, right? Which is any player worth their salt. Do I really need that shit? Do I want to get chased down the street? And this isn't the fans' fault, by the way.
No.
This is an accumulation of, well,
Bad
actually,
decisions as well.
if you bought that player in June,
It'd be here.
right?
Well, hang on, if he'd have bought...
Or whoever.
If he'd have bought Moffey or Dango Umatara, if he'd have had them, a deal with Lorient agreed in November for the pair.
Absolutely, yeah.
They'd have been here on the 3rd.
Wouldn't matter whether bloody Bournemouth...
We might have beaten.
Yeah.
We might have beaten.
Yeah.
Southampton 3-0 at home and people even...
Results change everything, don't they? And that's the thing.
The biggest indictment, sorry, for you to get back onto it, the biggest indictment for me is we're 2-1 down at home in this game. And the two lads who... Kevin Thelwell, Frank Lampard, the recruitment team...
All of the above. Thought could replace Richarlison's goals, even though there was nothing in the world. Stay on the bench. Come on, rush to it.
Don't even get on the pitch.
Yeah.
Don't even get on the pitch, which I think is the biggest indictment of.
And 5 of the subs didn't get on the pitch.
Listen, this is nothing to do with those lads individually.
No, it's the manager.
Right? What Everton needed in the summer was goals. We were selling a lad who scored double figures every single season for us.
Yeah.
And we needed someone with pace.
Absolutely.
We bought a lad who Brighton couldn't wait to get shut off, who didn't score goals.
And doesn't have pace.
And we bought,
and
isn't quick, and we bought a winger who doesn't have any kind of pace.
He's slow goals.
And doesn't score goals. Not saying they can't fit into a squad if you've already got that, but where you're...
But you don't even fit into a squad, do they, if you don't even
but
even off the bench?
Even if they did, Mike, right? Even if Everton had fast wingers and big good strikers and you thought, Dwight McNeil's all right because he can drop in there or there. Fair enough, but they're players that come afterwards. They don't come when there's a glaring hole.
But if you play that back to you, you're talking about a football club due to poor investment decisions in the past, have limited funds, and they waste those limited funds on the wrong players. Players with the wrong profile.
That's what it is, yeah.
And we sat here, because you guys do this all the time, and it was crystal clear. If you write down your plan, it is what you just said. Let's just say, has he got pace? No. Okay, move on.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it, yeah.
Has he got a goal?
And we ended up with 2.
No, move on.
Well, but number 1, pace in this league. Number 1, pace, because that often leads to goals, right?
Particularly in wide areas.
Yeah. Has this player got pace? No, move on.
Yeah.
And we ended up with 2 of them.
And neither had goals. Even if you could turn around and go, all right,
but he knows where the goal is.
He's not the quickest, but he puts the ball
He's a fox in the box or whatever.
We haven't even got
look
that.
at his assists.
But that's your decision-making tree.
He's a centre forward who's big, because our other
play
centre
off.
forward who's big
Others
is
will
injured.
score, yeah.
Don't forget Dominic Calvert-Lewin got injured 4 days before the season was kicked.
And
Everton thought he was out for 3 months.
Yeah.
So the week of the Chelsea game, Tuesday of the Chelsea game, we lose our centre forward for 3 months. There's still 4 weeks and 4.5 weeks of the window to go. And we went, instead of choosing someone Dominic Calvert-Lewin size, they chose someone my size who can't run.
Yeah.
It's like, when I mean can't run, I mean isn't quick, you can't play it over the top and he's on. He's a link player, a little small link player. He might be okay
Play off
in
someone.
it too. Play off someone and he weighs in with goals. We're not denying that. But we don't play that way. So that
There's
to
not many
me
teams that
is
do, is there?
already mixed messages. Isn't it? It's if you'd have gone and
Doesn't
got
make
a big
sense. There's
6'3" centre forward and went, we haven't got Dom, but this lad will hold it up, he'll win headers and we can have runners off him. That would have made sense to me.
It goes with a lot of the club's decision making. None of it makes sense.
None of it
doesn't make sense. And it comes back to communication. We had we had the talk about the board level, someone at board level sitting down and communicating what's going on. We need the Thelwell one. Like if he wants us to believe in his project and buy into him, and I'm sick of getting made out as the fans of the problem. We are desperate to believe in someone.
We are, yeah.
We will get behind you. Probably stupidly get behind you, yeah. And we stupidly get behind some of the players.
3,000 stupid
garbage.
people will go to London at the weekend.
Exactly.
So come out, communicate. I want to understand the rationale, the reason behind it. Let us understand what. And look, do you know what I would prefer as well if he come out and went, do you know what? We actually got it wrong. I'd even take
some ownership.
Communicate
of it.
because you don't need. We know you've got it wrong because the proof's on the pitch.
Yeah.
So come out and go. We've got this wrong. We've come up with a different process. Now January we will not do the same mistake again. We're not going to bring someone in for the sake of bringing someone in because we've done that. It's more wages. They're sat on the bench.
And we can't.
And don't get me wrong, it wouldn't be necessarily appease us completely, but you would have some level of understanding as to what's going on.
We're all guessing now. We're all filling the space again.
Here's a question for you, right? If you pay attention, I'm talking about, say, the owner or let's just badge them all, the board, right? And you know how tight the money is. You've got a finance guy who knows proximity to sustainability, all those sorts of things. You are the man, right, at board level, whatever. And the director of football and the managers say, right, these are the kind of players we want.
Yeah.
And you agree with them. Pace, goals, whatever. And then they turn up and say, we'd actually quite like to buy this one. I mean real world now. They say to you, we want to buy Mopay. What do you say? Do you say, well, you're the expert, so we'll do that? Or do you say, no?
If I'm the finance person.
No, you're chief exec or chair or whatever. But I'll answer my own question. Me, I say no.
Yeah.
I don't let somebody, even if they're supposed to be the expert, right, make what to me seems a blindingly obvious error.
Off plan.
Absolutely, that's the key, off plan. So you've spent the summer convincing me this is the kind of player we need, and now you want to buy somebody else. What's happened? Don't bleed and buy players just for the sake of it. Now, deja vu, we allowed Koeman to do that. You know, no one stopped him buying anyone who wore a number 10. You know what I mean? So you've got to believe that even if there is a plan, people don't stick to it. Why not? Because, and this is the scuba diving thing, isn't it? Dive the plan, plan the dive plan. When it gets hard, they panic a little bit. Oh, they want us to buy someone, let's buy someone, right? When, if you confront it up, which is what you said, you know what? We know what we need and we can't get them. So we're going to have to go with what we've got. Sorry, lads, but we'll have another go in January. You know, it might not be palatable, we might not like it, but you say that when the window's closed. It's a retrospective, isn't it? You explain why, instead of spunking 30 or 40 million plus wages on two players who, frankly, we all know are not going to make a difference and ain't going to be here very long.
It's reading the room, isn't it? So if you're Everton Football Club and you're reading all the narrative and understanding what's going on over the month of December, you can understand that the fan base as a whole are expecting a very early transfer.
Yes,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
If you're running the club and know that that's not going to happen because of X, Y, Z, communicate it.
Yeah.
Drop that level down, drop that expectation down, just temper it down slightly, but by having a proper communication in terms of going, our hope is to bring someone in, blah, blah, blah. This is the plan, realistically, with where we are financially.
We've got limited funds.
Limited funds, which mean we need to structure deals slightly. We're reliant on other clubs doing certain bits of business. So the likelihood of someone arriving in day 1, day 2, is we will try to, but it's not. And then everyone goes, well, that's not going to happen, is it? So so that's tempered down slightly. Now, from a financial perspective, if you haven't got the money to outlay, what we do have is 2 loan spots. And what there are is a lot of good footballers sat on benches around the world that want to play football. And then you telling me that our scouting network cannot find 2 players sat on loan. Have we got one domestic, one international?
One domestic, yeah. Well, he may well, but that'll be deadline day.
But why though?
Because Everton will look and go, Anthony Elanga at United, we'll have him.
No,
and United will go, you can have him, but
we want to bring someone in or get
we've got games at the moment, so
and see what happens.
We've got a lot of games, so you can have them at the end of the window.
But if you go to, and this is where, you see everyone on Twitter, and this is what drives me insane. Yeah, but who should we get? I don't know, because I'm not a scout for Everton Football Club.
It's not your job.
But if I'm a professional scout, I'm telling you right now, I would know a lot more players in and around.
Yeah.
You telling me
you only have to play FIFA, mate.
Yeah, well, no, but you telling me there's not someone in League 2? Forget League 1, a League 2 striker of an African descent, strong, powerful, has the potential, that we can't get in on loan with an option to buy at the end of the season, and that club wouldn't go, yeah, fair play, that'll do us. Sat mid-table. There's got to be, if you're doing your job properly.
You see, if you do a business 101,
yeah,
right, it's glib, right, which is all about under-promise, over-deliver, right? You don't wait till December time to say that. You communicate with the fans for the last 6 or 7 years regularly, like every month, right, with people in the right positions, explaining to the average fan, it's not actually as easy as you think, without patronising and using those words, but you set expectations.
Yeah.
And you see it on social media, people who learn about whether it's finances or whatever it might be, they're a bit more amenable to the messaging.
Yeah.
And we did say this on the other vid, didn't we? But once the fan base don't believe a word you say, you can't do that.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
You can't do it.
You should front it up, because
you've got to front it, and it's never too late. It's never too late to front it up.
Might still have a little opportunity.
It's never too late to front it up.
Kevin Thelwell would have done an interview in September, October, even November. There was a 6-week break.
Do it while they were over in Australia.
Went, look,
winning games.
We're coming towards another transfer window. We know what we need. I spoke to Frank Lampard before they went to Australia and asked him where we bring an attack. Was that the area we were targeting? He said, yeah. So Kevin Thelwell could have done the same thing and gone, we're targeting attacking it. We know we're short. Yeah. It will be difficult because we haven't got a lot of money. But, money's limited. There's nothing wrong with saying, don't show your hand. What are you on about? Don't show your hand. We haven't got money. Tell everyone. Tell everyone.
Might get players cheaper, right? You know that.
You tell everyone, so there's no arsing about. But that doesn't mean he can't do a big 20-minute presentation telling you about what the plan is. We're going after certain types. And then they should have been speaking to the likes of Lorient with Ouattara before everyone else got interested. I know about him. Terry Moffey, me and Andy McGregor have been
you keep calling out and then you go on and it's just like, how do you know? And Everton scouting
because I just have a little look at what's what.
But
watch them
does
a few
Everton
times.
Do you not know?
Because they're too easy going. Michael Antonio, he's played in the Prem.
It's mental.
There's just for me
because he has the very simple. Oh, it's really complicated, and you need to be massively experienced. Yeah. He looks at a team and says, "What are we lacking?
Yeah,
we're lacking pace and goal scorers."
So then you go and look at who's doing what.
And a certain age profile as well, and physical size, blah blah blah.
And within a certain financial.
So imagine what
you chuck at an analyst. I'm looking for a player less than 22 years of age, who's 6 foot tall, who's can run and play off people, bit raw, but we can sort that. And at the level he's playing, he knows where the goal is.
Yeah, and we can structure a financial deal.
Leeds have just done a deal today for Ouani, I think it's his name, from Morocco, centre midfield for 20-odd million. Good player, very good, 22. It's another one. He's been sitting around, no one's sussed him. Leeds got Rutter as well, who Everton wanted. So very well wanting them.
We're good at wanting them,
months ago. Ouattara, Terry Moffey. Everton would have offered Lorient 25 million in November for Terry Moffey. They'd have gone, all right. Yeah. But they've left it and the lads come back and
by the way, they had that money and wasted it on Mopai.
There was loads, mate, there's loads. And listen, I imagine there is people at Everton who know all of these players and for whatever reason,
they don't get listened
our manager could be going, No, I don't want to gamble on a player like that.
I want Premier League experience.
Premier League I'm trying to keep my job.
See, if that's on your list, Premier League experience, it takes
everyone
hundreds of players out.
There's no one moving clubs in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're a manager and this is the other side of it, there could be really good people at Everton who've got, don't promote from within, by the way, but there you go, who know a lot of people throughout Europe, might have a shortlist going, there's 10 players here who would be sound for us. They're all between 19 and 22, they're big, they're quick, and then you take that to the manager and go, we've got 2 here we could go for, and he looks and goes, it's a gamble for me because my job's under pressure. It's easier, dare I say it, at a Brighton or a Brentford, where the expectations are a bit lower, and they can get them in for 4 or 5 million and develop them in a bit of... I get it, right, where the managers are maybe, the feet are under the table, and you can do it. I understand that that's a bit difficult, but Everton really, if we're following the director of football model, Kevin Felwell should be going, no, Frank, see these, we haven't got this in this team. He's quick, he's 21. He's quick, he's 21. If they do all right, we get our money back on these two quite easily. And they make our team better. You might have to do a bit of work with them. Because they're raw. You might have to work with him on his touch an hour after training every day. Yeah. But you know when he gets it right, you're going to have a player that you go, tell you what, he's a player. Yeah. And he's big and he's quick.
You want people to have a plan.
No, but
you know, but you do. You sit there and say, how are you going to play? I mean, clearly the director of football arrived after the manager, so a few weeks or whatever. But we've just done it, and there's no one watching this who disagrees with what do we need? We need players in this profile for financial reasons, right? We need players with these physical attributes, size, speed, those sorts of things. The manager agrees, right? That's what I want, that's what I need, and the director of football goes off and gets them. The manager can't be saying, I want that particular player who currently plays for Manchester United. He says, I want these attributes.
If you want a director of football model, the manager shouldn't have that much say. The manager should be a coach as well. And that's what Everton should change the title to, by the way, head coach. You're given a group of players and you coach them. Your job is to coach them and get the best. And this goes back to, I know we've done it before, the group that he has right now is still miles better than what he's getting out of them.
Yes.
And the fact he's still at our football club is, in my mind, baffling, because you are accepting failure.
Well, we had this chat recently, and I don't know if you saw it, which was, and I was sat over there, I think, it is, and I'll ask you the question instead. You can only say one or the other.
Go on.
Is Frank a manager or a coach?
A manager.
Exactly. That's what I said.
Yeah.
And is Graham Potter a manager or a coach?
Coach.
Yeah. And he might be in the wrong job because he needs to be a manager at that club.
Yeah, yeah.
And this guy might be in the wrong job because you need to be a coach at this club.
Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And therefore, if you are a manager who just wants someone to give you fully formed players, then you're going to end up falling back on experience, falling back on this, that, and the other. And not wanting to put your career in the hands of a 19-year-old.
Let's go back to
the
Yeah, we do.
Well, talked about... I started with half-time.
We talked about Amadou Onana before. Let's just have a look at it, because he is someone who Everton took a little bit of a chance on. He's highly rated. He was tremendous at the weekend. Dribble attempts completed 2 out of 3. Tackles 1, 2. Duels 1, 12 out of 15. Passing accuracy 93%. Goals 1. He had 3 attempts at goal. He also had 8 ball recoveries, which was the most on Everton's team.
Who else wanted him?
As well. West Ham thought they had him. West Ham thought they had him.
Is that evidence we can do it?
And he got him.
Well, I mean, it is at the 30 mil level.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But
you seem it's structured in a way that...
I'm saying if Everton would have done this with a striker, I think everyone would have been calm and gone, see that, look at the plan. They wanted that, they got him. They wanted that, they got him. Anyway, he was brilliant at the weekend, and there wasn't enough of him. But we did come out for that second half, and we're winning 1-0, and we're talking at half time, and it's like, get this second goal here, and we'll
calm down
to just chill for the rest of these have got nothing really, they've shown nothing,
and this happens,
and within 50 seconds it's 1-1, and it's a terrible goal to give away. It's a ball forward, and here we see James Tarkowski and Che Adams. Tarkowski loses the header. Connor Cody for some reason gets too tight to Tarkowski. I don't know why. But I've circled 2 midfield players because James Ward-Prowse has ran past both of them. It's his own Onana and Guy. He's ran past them. Ben Godfrey is the nearest one. Next, if we move it on, though Godfrey's going over to the ball. Cody and Tarkowski are now out the game, basically. because,
The
like I
header.
said, he's gone for
Cody's
the header.
vacated that
Cody's
space.
left the space and
left the
Godfrey's
space,
gone
yeah.
across. So okay, go and snuff the danger out. So we take it on again, and then Godfrey's committed himself.
Why does
which
he go to ground?
I don't understand why he slides in. I really don't. He only has to stand in front of Ward-Prowse, and then he can go both ways. Why defenders are going to ground in a box, I don't understand. And James Ward-Prowse just tucks it inside. Godfrey's out the game, as you can see here. And then Jordan Pickford, for me, I don't know why he dives towards his near post when the gap. We'll see on the next one the gap, but I don't know why he dives towards it.
So much.
The near post, because he leaves 3/4 of the goal wide open. And Ward-Prowse literally just plays the way he's facing. The whole goal, it's on his instep. He just passes it beyond him, and it's like, that could have been... First of all, Cody should just be waiting to see who makes the flick and then go and get it. And we've got shape. Second ball, then he deals with, but he doesn't, because he's gone, he's out the game. Godfrey, stay on your feet, and Pickford don't make the lad's mind up for him. Because if he dives the other, I mean, you're a goalie, Mike, I'm just talking as like a forward player. If I see a goalkeeper show me 3/4 of the goal, that's where the ball's going. I'm not trying to put it in the narrow angle. You know, we saw that on Boxing Day with Anthony Gordon. Sarr shows him the whole goal and he puts it in the smallest place and he saves it. If he just puts it there, it's a goal, and that's what Ward-Prowse does. And the ball actually goes in almost the middle of the... It doesn't even go
in the
right
exact
in the
same
corner.
place the free kick goes in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But no, you were right, because it was funny, because we were talking off camera, weren't we? And I thought originally you were saying his positional play wasn't great, and I thought his position was fine. But then, like exactly what you say, he then commits and dives the wrong way. Like, it's baffling, isn't it? Like, why are you diving to your left? Like, the space, he's obviously going to go to the right. If he kind of motions that way and he slides it past them, he's got time to react that way, by the way.
But even if he does, you go, well, okay, he's had to make his one-on-one, he's had to make his mind up. I just don't understand.
Should go with the percentage.
Why? Exactly. Goalies, it's like, if you're coaching strikers or you're getting coached by forwards and you're running through, we always say shoot across the keeper. Shoot across the keeper. If you get to touch, one of your teammates might tap it in. If you hit it well, it's a goal. You don't ever say shoot to the near post, ever. You might hit it near post sometimes because you've got it wrong a little bit and you shank it in and go, that's what I meant. But the reality is you go across the goal. So as the goalkeeper, you must know that he's going to go across me. I just don't understand why he shows him the goal, because he ends up almost just sitting down. And like I said, if Ward-Prowse puts it right in the corner as well, you might go, well, he mightn't have got there anyway.
It in.
But make it, whack it past you.
No, look, I agree. I think
goal to concede.
Look, obviously as a goalkeeper, there's a multitude of errors as usual before.
He's the last error. And he's not the only error, by the way.
But you get to that position, I think you're right. I thought his starting position was fine. In fact, was good. And then he's literally just given the goal away. What you'll notice with Pickford, and don't get me wrong, he's had some fantastic games for Everton, by the way. But you know, there's certain games where he's very questionable. He's very prone to putting his weight on to his left hand side. Not just that goal. We'll see it for the free kick as well. And you can go back over goals. He's very prone to leaning his weight to this side, and I don't know why. Whether he's got a deficiency more diving to that side, so he's more confident. I don't know what it is. But
that's his stronger leg, I suppose.
But I've seen that with it, and again, you're talking at Premier League level.
They'll have all seen it as well.
You know, analysts of the team will just be like,
he does this,
and you watch it where you'll see it more and more now. Pointed out is his body weight. Quite often he goes there to then react to there.
We spoke about this. Remember Man United with Ronaldo's winner?
Time again.
He was in the wrong position that day. But he also shifted his weight onto one foot,
the left.
Couldn't get back to the other.
He shifted to the left. It went in the near post. He shifted to the left. If he'd have just stayed big on that one, he sticks his foot out. It's a simple save. So, look, he's at fault for that. Like I say, a multitude of errors before it. And it's a shocking way to start that free kick. Then
you feel there they scored that goal. It was just a long ball forward. You think this will be dealt with, and it isn't dealt with. Like, someone will go.
Bread and butter for
someone will go with
Ward-Prowse.
No one goes with. Godfrey won't go to. Godfrey goes to ground, and then he slots it past.
Bread and butter for Tarkowski.
There's 4 errors. Jordan Pickford's just the last one that could have done better. Ben Godfrey could have done better. Connor Cody should have done better. Tarkowski shouldn't be allowing Jay Adams a free.
It's on the wrong side of him.
Yeah, it's on the wrong area. So. That's really poor, and it's those moments where I guess you feel for the manager, because he's come out thinking, right, I imagine the last thing you say when you're walking out that dressing room is keep it tight for the first 10 lads, just get back into it. And within 50 seconds, you see Frank Lampard's face, he's just like,
well,
as if to go, like, what's going on
That's
here?
what the rest of us were like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you could feel a little bit of the energy drain. But I thought, we then got back on the front foot, and we have a couple of, we're unlucky with Dominic Calvert-Lewin's shot that loops, it's the lad, and we'd have been lucky, but it's the bar, and it's unlucky.
It's unlucky.
Could have gone out anywhere. We've had one where the keeper's got a good hand on, actually, which takes it off Godfrey's foot and it's his knees. We had another couple that fizzed across the box. And then, the manager, 1-1.
And by the way, for the rest of that second half, Southampton looked toothless.
Oh, they had nothing?
Stupidly again, I didn't fancy them to score.
No.
I was thinking this is end of 1-1 or we're winning this.
Yeah. Well, we were pushing. We didn't play well, and there was no real cohesion. But I always thought with the crowd, we might be the ones that we'd be the one that won it, because they weren't doing anything really.
They were back to where they were in the first half.
Yeah, they got level, and it was like
they had a bit of bomb.
I think they thought if we keep it like this and we're energetic, because they were energetic, we'll get something out of this. A point's a good result.
We'll take the points, yeah.
He made the change. I thought Seamus Coleman, he was playing below me second half, he looked knackered. Yeah. And I think it was, I'll be honest, I was saying he could put Gordon on right wing back here, and he might make it different, might just give us that little bit of pace. Anthony Gordon come on and was just... I've seen people saying, I've seen Micah Richards saying he was sulking, didn't look interested. I've seen other people saying he's poor. He just was nothing in the game. He was nothing.
Above.
But we give the second goal away from our own error. We get a corner.
God, this
off a free kick. We get a corner. The corner's poor. The corner's really poor from Damari Gray. It's usual, by the way. Cleared. Anthony Gordon plays the first time ball actually to Gray. It's a good ball. And we'll have a look now. And gives it to Damari Gray. Now look at the space Damari Gray's got. And I've done the arrow, because that's what he should be doing there. One touch and fire it. Everton have got 6 men in the box. Fire it in. Across the people, across the defenders, let people like Dominic Calvert-Lewin attack it.
Atone for your crap corner.
People are
if
still
anyone watches Everton and wonders why they don't score goals,
honestly, if that's teams near the top, I reckon even if that was Southampton and it was Ward-Prowse, say out there, he'd have got it out of his feet and put it in the box,
with
right?
Pace.
In the mixer, ask people to attack it. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's been waiting all day to get across people for the ball. Damari Gray takes a touch, tries to come back inside. The lad takes it off him. He wants a foul. There's no foul.
No foul, not
They
even, no
break
chance.
on us. And then it ends up...
But break poorly as well, by the way.
Yeah, they don't
even break at pace.
No,
we get plenty back, don't we?
We get plenty back.
What's mad is, it comes out to Kyle Walker-Peters. He puts a knotting ball in, but Idrissa Gueye heads it clear, because he has to, he's under pressure, but it's a header. And it comes out to the edge of the box, and we see the next one. Look how many Everton players are back.
Oh, gosh,
There's 3 Southampton players in the box, right? The lad takes a touch there. We're still able to get out to him. And Anthony Gordon, tracking back lazily, just shoves the lad in the back. Now, you will have been told going out there, I imagine, by the coaching staff.
For a week.
Don't give anything cheaply away round the edge of the box, because Ward-Prowse is good with free kicks.
Threat.
He had one 5 minutes earlier from further out. We dealt with it. Don't give him anything around the box, because it's a threat. And Anthony Gordon barges the lad in the box. Look where the ref is. So the ref's not even going to give Anthony Gordon the benefit of the doubt there. The referee's right by it. So we can see Gordon's the wrong side of the ball. All Gordon has to do there is just come round the lad. Let the lad get it and get round back and double up. It'd be 9v4 in the box, or 8v4. We give a free kick away. And then the free kick on the next one is... This is the thing, right?
It's like a horror show.
Now
You're the goalie.
What I've done is I've put the hexagon where I think Jordan Pickford should be standing, which is slightly to the right.
Of where he
For
is.
me, he's too far over. And Ward-Prowse, they will have watched Ward-Prowse free kicks all week, right? He's the whip. He's the David Beckham whip. It's always into the near corner, whether it's low or high.
I think he done one a few weeks ago, didn't he, against Fulham. I think he wrapped it in the opposite corner, but predominantly.
Very rarely.
Statistically, that's
but if Jordan Pickford
scoring
takes
from there,
one step,
let him have it. Yeah.
Right. If Jordan Pickford takes one step to his right, he can go either way on it. Right. Yeah. If you see this, Pickford's like trying to look around the wall, and his body weight already's on his left.
Again,
Mikalenko, and this I think what Ped was talking about. They'd obviously worked on something where Mikalenko retreats to the line.
Yeah.
But by the time he starts to retreat, he can't get back quick enough. He's running backwards.
I was having
and the ball, the next one,
the
ball ends up, Pickford doesn't dive, the ball ends
goal.
Up 1.5 feet off the floor.
Yeah.
And all right, Ward-Prowse has hit it well, but it's not the corner. He's just, all he's done is clear the ball and we'll see what happens. And Southampton are in front, and then from then...
There's
Everton,
so many things to pick from that, isn't it? So obviously, Damari Gray, brain dead. Anthony Gordon, brain dead. Jordan Pickford, brain dead.
Hat-trick.
I mean, it's literally just a comedy of errors. I was having an interaction with someone on Twitter who was saying about the Michaelenko side of it coming back onto the line. Obviously, that was Ped's point as well in terms of it looked like that's some level of plan or something that's been put in place.
Yeah.
We've played football. When you're in a game and in a situation, you're in a relegation, but you've got to take things into your own hands sometimes and understand what the threat is, what's going on in the game management. I don't care what the plan. If I'm Jordan Pickford, I'm England's number one.
Screaming at him?
I am saying, no, but I don't want that. I don't want him running back.
Screaming what you want him to do.
I'm going, that is not a tactic for me, as far as I'm concerned. If you're stood behind the wall...
Don't you agree that in the planning, not in the game?
Oh, well that's number one. But secondly, if you're going to get into like the moment and if there is a manager's plan, I would override the manager's plan on the pitch.
This is the debate we had before. Absolutely right.
For me, Michaelenko is behind the wall. So can he see the ball? No.
Debatable.
So you see him, he's trying to see through the wall.
So
he can't see. The exact same as the goalkeeper trying to see through the wall. So he can't see. So how's he going to react any better than the goalkeeper would?
He's not.
So he's then running, if you look for it, because he's on around the penalty spot, so 12 yards away. He's got to get from 12 yards to the back, running backwards, judging a flight of a ball. It's absolute nonsense. It's nonsense.
The only way he goes to the line is if he stands on the line before he hits it.
And then you're playing everyone else
comes in.
And then people are pressing you.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's nonsense. So whether that was a plan or not, it's nonsense. So if you're
England's number one goalkeeper... You know what he'd have been better doing, Michaelenko?
Yeah.
Charging the ball.
Well,
on the edge of the ball, the minute Ward-Prowse runs, he should be getting ready to run. When he hits it, he should be getting out to it to put Ward.
That's something that doesn't happen anymore, isn't it?
No, they just let them hit it.
It's like a thing of the past,
But what we would always taught, have one charger who runs at the ball. Doesn't have to be part of your ball. He can be to the side and runs at it.
Be moving before the kick.
Exactly, and he sees you out the corner of your eye.
Distraction.
It's all just marginal stuff. But like you said, Pickford's starting position for me it's not massively different. Probably half a foot, a foot maybe.
I'd say a foot
to the right,
and then he can dive for it.
But the wall also needs to move then a foot or two over to the right. Now this left hand side,
let him see it.
The left hand side is the part he can see the travel of the ball. It's in the air for longer.
Absolutely.
He would have to back himself to save that. Otherwise, it would have to be an absolute rocket.
If that goes in the top corner, you just go.
But even that near side, you would back your goal. You would be devastated if your goalkeeper's letting it in there, right? The far side then. So now you haven't given up as much space as he has, where you've got absolute acres of goal to aim at. Ward-Prowse's eyes must have been like ding, 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 ding.
All he's thinking there is
on target. On target.
That's all he's thinking, and that's all he did.
Yeah.
Now, he's left so much of that goal that number one is ludicrous. Number two, the plan is ludicrous. And regardless of all that, he doesn't even dive. So forget all that.
He doesn't even throw.
The second you don't see that ball coming to this side,
you've got to be ready to go, If
he's not coming this side, he's going that side.
He's trying to look. And that's what I'm saying. If you're trying to look, your weight's here.
And he's
so already if the ball's on...
So he's on the wrong leg to push off. He stands and watch that ball go in. Was it about 5 yards?
Yeah. He could have...
I said to your camera, if Pickford dives and saves that, it would have been on the commentary, would have been good save for the keeper, good height for him,
Nothing special.
Corner kick for Southampton. Yeah. That's what it would have been. And most Premier League goalkeepers would have done that. And it's obviously then, you're 2-1 down.
And that was it. Everton put Ellis Sims on near the end and didn't give the lad anything. We ran
10
around.
minutes.
Yeah, he got a couple of flick-ons. He's waiting in the box for crosses. We don't cross it. There's no... The crowd stayed with Everton, I thought, even in injury time. He was still trying to get, because we're thinking if we get a point even, it's a bad result because you're
but we need it.
But we need a point, and it keeps them away from us by 3. We got the closest we come, I think we got a corner right at the end, and Tarkowski hit and they got cleared off the line, didn't they? with a couple of minutes to go where it got flicked on. And other than that, really, Ben Godfrey had one that broke and he went sliding in, and I don't know why he went for a block tackle in the box, but put it over. And that was really it. We offered nothing, and that's the problem for me, is that it's not even the fact you fall behind, because you see teams, you can go behind at any time. We don't have any plan. We don't have any way of getting in. There's no... The manager the other week with Wolves spoke about, like, the crowd, we've got to learn to relax and let the players play. But the players don't look like they know what they're doing. No. Everything goes blank. We brought Anthony Gordon on. I honestly thought he'd be up and down, whipping cross. I don't know why I thought that, but I hoped he would. Yeah. There was nothing on the other side. I said right before, we paid 35 million for 2 attacking players in the summer to replace Richarlison. They're that good at the moment that none of the coaching staff went, these 2 lads have got to.
Now they're starting, now they come on.
Didn't get on the pitch.
Against the team bottom
of the league. And that's worrying as anything. And we've ended up losing to another team who was bottom of the league. That's Leicester
having led them
in the bottom 3. Wolves came, bottom of the league, beat us. Southampton come, bottom of the league, and beat us. Yeah, we were ahead against Wolves, we were ahead against Southampton, we were ahead against Manchester United after 5 minutes and threw that away. Yeah. Albeit they're a much better team, by the way.
To Wolves and Southampton
is poor. It's really poor.
To not come out at least one of them with 3 points.
That's the worry for me, is that we've had these... We've won 2 home games, and it's the middle of January. And the home form is normally what keeps Everton.
I don't know this one, but I think we've scored 9 goals at home all season.
Well, we probably have, because I think we only scored 15.
Altogether,
in 19.
I think it's 9.
And that's what's worrying. Let's have a look at the
3
stats.
In one game.
Let's have a look at the stats. Everton finished 12 shots, Southampton 13. 4 on target for Everton, 5 for Southampton. Everton had 2 big chances. Southampton had 1. Everton won the possession, and there lies the problem. When we have the possession, we're never...
They were fighting each other to give each other the ball.
You know what, one thing before we finish, right? Before we finish, one thing I would say is, and I noticed this early on, few of the players were at each other. And normally I don't mind that when they're frustrated, but it was happening when we were winning 1-0. Jordan Pickford had a go at Damari Gray. Sorry, this was 0-0. It was after about 10 minutes. They come forward and something happened, and he walked out and had a go at Damari Gray, right? And Damari Gray, instead of just going like that, walked back and was still having a go at him, and the play was going on. And he was pointing to Pickford like that, as if to go, oh, and you, and I'm thinking, this is 0-0. We're 10 minutes into a game here. What's going on? You just go like that, and at half time you go, what the fuck are you having a go for me for? Or whatever, do you know what I mean?
He might have said, why did you get Denise in a headlock? You've caused chaos.
But that kind of thing, for me, that early in a game was worrying, and it happened a few times in the game, and I just thought, if these aren't together, we've got no chance.
I know I just, last one, I'll just ask you, because we are
going to finish now.
Would you sack Lampard?
I think the stats say it all. Yeah. Sadly, I think he really wants to do well. I don't doubt he's working hard. I don't doubt he's sat there going, what can we do? I think the problem you have is when results speak for you. I said this last season with Rafa Benitez, so I can't be contradictory or use it just because he was a Liverpool manager. He won 1 in 14. I couldn't understand how he was still a manager. Yeah. So therefore, that must fall to Frank Lampard. I said this all week. I've watched Everton be terrible, be amazing, but also be terrible.
In past seasons.
Right? For years.
Yeah.
The 90s when we used to play 6 centre-backs, right? There was never a run like this, ever. Yeah. Ever. 1 win in 13.
No.
Ever.
Every 3 or 4 games you'd win one.
Exactly. Yeah, we'd be terrible and lose 4 on the run and couldn't score a goal.
Battle the game out.
And then we'd win 1-0. And then it might be another 4 where we were crap, and then we'd get a win. You always knew they were but right now, it's just to me, seems like everyone at the football club, and I enjoy them. I think the manager's doing the same now. We're almost just crossing games off as if they don't matter. Yeah, yeah. We done it the start of the season with strikers. It was almost like the window's open till August, so the first 5 games don't matter because we'll get one by the 6th. Now it's like we're trying to get players in. We've just played 6 games. Doesn't really matter. And West Ham won't really, because by February we might have 2 attackers. Yeah. We're like, yeah, lads, and that will be 13 or 14 games in the season that you've written off because we didn't have what we wanted.
And then that's the worry. But then the manager's this is the culture that filters down, because the manager's obviously in an environment where the club are happy to write stuff off all the time. Oh, that game doesn't matter. Yeah, but
they're also not giving him the tools anyway.
they're not giving him the tools, but let's have it right. Since, you know, he's got Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin's there as well. And while he's on the pitch, he ain't playing to his strengths. The manager needs to go, and that's what I...
Listen, it's a culture...
Right. John, final word, because we need to be finished in 1 minute.
It's a culture where everybody can blame somebody else.
Yeah. Leave it there then, because I think that's a very good way to finish. But I don't think the fans, even though the fans are being blamed, I don't think you can blame the fans. I think the fans are the best thing about this football club. End of story. Like, there you go. We've talked about a lot of things in that final word. Let us know what you think.
Some of it about the game.
Section below. Everton are in trouble. They're in huge trouble. Big win for Southampton. Like I said, their first win at Goodison in 25 years, in 26 years. Since Kevin Davis took 90-12 players on and got goal of the month.
Is that what it was?
He beat us 2-0 at home, and he got goal of the month. It was a good goal, to be fair. That was the last time Everton were beaten by Southampton at Goodison. But there you go, there's another little record for us.
Done. Yeah.
Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Thanks for watching. See you later.